When we talk about recruitment, the best recruiting tool you have is yourself. So here I am recruiting you. I have to do this every year, both at the school and with my personal studio. So I am very, very familiar, for better or for worse. I don't like really giving advice on this topic because, well, I'm just, I feel like I get in my head a lot when it comes to advice. Am I going to give the right advice? Am I going to give the wrong advice? But I did get a piece of really wonderful advice one time when it comes to recruitment. Someone told me, whether you're doing it for education or whether you're doing it for your business, you have to look at it as your business. And they said, you're only competing with yourself. Now, that's seemingly not true until I got to thinking about it. You're always competing with yourself in a very real sense. Sometimes bragging about your program, especially, can be difficult. We talked last time about really building up your department, really working with your department, building a community within itself. And now, this time, here I am telling you about promoting your department above the others. Oftentimes we find ourselves competing for the very same children, the very same students, those very few artsy kids. They're going to have the same interests, the same loves. Take my daughter, for instance. I told you in the first video, my Emmy is an artsy girl. She loves music. She plays the clarinet. She's a master at hot cross buns. She paints and she draws much better than her mother can. She loves to act. She loves improv games. She would play them with my students all day long if she could. And she dances at my studio and hopefully for the school one day. She could do any one of these things. And hopefully she will continue her love of the arts in 1, 2, 3, 4 disciplines. And me, our band director, our art teacher, the theater teacher, who also happens to be me, maybe it won't be at that time, we will all be competing for that little girl, for her sole attention. Now, we'll share her, but will we want to? So it's time to recruit. And you're competing with yourself. How much are you going to sell your program and sell yourself to those students that are actively seeking you out? I want you to pause and go with me on a journey. Pretend for a second that you are that Instagram person who posts relentlessly all of those things that we see on Instagram, all of those wonderfully poignant quotes. I've pulled a couple just to get you going. For instance, if you continuously compete with others, you become bitter. But if you continuously compete with yourself, you become better. Food for thought. Look in the mirror. That's your competition. Now this one speaks to my soul, because when I look in the mirror, I see my competition, my direct competition. And I mean this quite literally. I am my competition. I am my competition in a very, 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 very real way. Not only do I teach dance, but I also teach drama. And I teach AVT. So within my same brick building, I house 3 programs. Fortunately, they are very healthy programs. They don't need a lot of help within the confines of that school. But outside, pulling students in, those programs still need fresh blood. They need new students. And then I have to make a really tough decision. I have to look at numbers. Which program needs the most? Which program may have not had a great year? Right now, which program did COVID hit the worst? Which program do I need to hit the hardest? Which program is lacking when it comes to male involvement? Which program do I need to pay special attention to right now? We talked last time about really asking yourself hard-hitting questions. Now is a time where you really have to sit down and think about these things. When you enter the time of recruitment, you are vying for the same very small group of children. Now, you may come from a school district much larger than mine, and your pool may be much more vast. In my school district, that pool is tiny, tiny, tiny. And that arts pool is even shallower. And the involved arts pool, well, that's a puddle. So I have to look at that pool and say, okay, out of X number of students, I know that I'm going to pull Y number of students. And out of Y number of students, I know that Z number of students are going to make it through the entire program. And I'm going to push for those kids, and I'm going to fight for those kids. And when it's time to fight for those kids, I'm not going to let them go to any other department but my own. Now, looking at some things that have been very effective in the past, present, and future, I think the most important thing, and the one that has had the biggest return, is getting your program out there to the most number of students the most amount of times. And what I mean by this is, for example, tours. It doesn't matter how often other students at younger ages see your kids in and performing in opportunities and adventures that they don't deem as realistic. For example, football players are attainable. Little boys want to aspire to be football players because they see them every Friday night. And by the time those little boys grow up to be of age to play football, they have seen their heroes each and every Friday night for years and years and years and years and years. Too seldom in the arts world have children been exposed that number of times to those who could potentially see them as heroes. So what I've done with my dancers and with my thespians both is we've made it a point to tour those high school and middle school students from a very early age. Get your students in front of kids and get them in front of kids at a younger age as many times as you can. Strategies that didn't work for us were waiting until the very last minute and then saying, hey, don't you want to join drama? Hey, don't you want to join dance? You can't do that. You can't remind them at the end. If you're waiting until the last minute, you might as well just hand them a flyer. A comedian that I liked once said that handing someone a recruitment flyer was basically like saying, hey, why don't you throw this away? If I had to give you one specific piece of advice, it would be to run recruitment like you would run your business. While none of us in the education world have to worry about being paid per student, in that sense, at my studio, I do. I have to think about recruiting each and every year, or I don't get paid. And so I think some of that trickles over into my educational sensibilities, and I challenge you to start thinking that way. Don't see these students as dollar signs. Please don't take it as that. But maybe, in this sense, put your business hat on. And this is a theme that you're going to see throughout this webinar topic. Really keeping your educator hat on, still on top of your head, but maybe, just maybe, for this recruitment topic for vertical teaming, for using contest and student opportunities to build your program, while you have that educator hat on, keep it on your head and just take a business sticker. Keep a small business owner sticker. You can borrow mine and peel the back off and stick it on top of your educator hat and wear it around a little bit and see how that feels, and feel that motivation and that drive, and let that push you a little bit. You're going to see a video next, and it's a recruitment video. I'm sure all of you are in a similar case as mine, where as specials or connections or whatever the case may be at your school, you are in competition with CTAE, you're in competition with other fine arts programs, both at the middle school and high school level. You are in competition with upwards of 5, 10, 15, however many extra classes that the students get to elect to take. These electives are ones that they sign up for. So in this video, you're going to see the high school's recruitment. You're going to see me in a very different light, where I am pitching my high school programs to middle school students. What you're not going to see is the fact that I have a leg up on the competition, because my middle school dance and theater programs, they see me all the time. And I get a backstage pass and backstage access to those middle school students. And I am using my foot in the door, my vertical teaming that we're going to talk about in the next segment, to really solidify those relationships with my students. So in this clip, you're going to see the programs that I am competing directly against. And specifically, you're going to see the programs that I am competing with myself, and the hard decisions that I'll have to make when those numbers come out and I see, well, this program is doing really well, this program is not doing really well. Why are some of my programs kind of this way and this way? And that's when your research comes into play. Dance is always going to be primarily female driven, and so what can I do to make sure that that isn't the case? And that has to start at a younger level. So in your recruitment, and this is something that I've been working on all year, is changing the mindset of my community. And I challenge you to do that in your own recruitment. And if you have any ideas on that and how to help me out, I would gladly welcome the discussion at the Godot Communities discussion board. And so enjoy this video that takes a look at our recruitment strategies in my district. And I will see you back for topic 2, which is vertical teaming, in just a few minutes.
Students should plan to have a pathway for graduation. A pathway is similar to a major concentration in college. A pathway consists of 3 courses in the same area. The pathway could focus on future career plans, a passion, or a hobby. As you choose courses during registration, consider these options in the area of Career Technical Agriculture Education, CTAE, and Fine Arts.
Hey, I'm Mr. Snyder with Brooks County High School FFA. I'm the Ag Advisor here. We teach basic ag and forestry and wildlife classes. We also got horticulture and plant science. And this is Mr. Haskins.
I teach Ag Mech 1 and Ag Mech 2. What I do is I give you the skills to work in an agricultural setting. I also give kids and also enter them in competitions with Skills USA and through FFA, where you can compete to win prizes and scholarships with welding and wiring.
Hi, my name is Miss Lindsay and I teach ABT at the high school. This is a 3-year pathway and it prepares you for after-school learning to get a job in the field of television and movie making. We do setups for BCTV and short filmmaking, and we would love to have you join us as we get ready for lights, camera, and action.
Hello, I am Mr. Mitchell. I teach the construction program over at Brooks County High School. In the first course of the pathway, you will learn the basics of construction. Students learn to read basic blueprints and spend a lot of time learning general safety in the construction field. The second course in the pathway covers more advanced usage of all tools, more in-depth blueprint reading, and the history of carpentry and construction in general. The last course in the construction pathway is the Level 1 Carpentry course. This class is all about hands-on building. Students learn to build floors, walls with openings, rafters and roofs, staircases, and some finishing carpentry. Come join us in construction and learn to build your future.
Hi, I'm Ms. Foster. I teach Intro to Digital Technology, Digital Design, Web Design, and Computer Science at Brooks County High School. Do you have a love for technology? Are you an analytical thinker? Are you a natural problem solver? Computer science may be your perfect fit. Students with an interest in computer science must first take the Intro to Digital Technology course. This course opens the doors to other computer science courses such as digital design, web design, and computer science. Another great plus is the computer science course can also be taken in place of science or math. It is a win-win. Take a dive in the world of technology and computer science at Brooks County High School. Hi, my name is Ms. Foster. I teach marketing at Brooks County High School. The marketing pathway offers 3 courses: marketing principles, marketing and entrepreneurship, and marketing management. Students in the program have a unique opportunity to learn the foundations of business and marketing and to apply those skills in our school-based enterprise, the school store. Students have an opportunity to compete regionally and nationally with students in marketing by actively being involved in DECA, a student organization. In marketing, you learn many of the skills necessary to explore career opportunities that range from recruiters and scouts to business owners. Are you driven, business-minded, outspoken, creative? Well, marketing is the pathway for you.
Hello, I'm Heather Williams, RN. I'm the instructor for Intro to Healthcare Science, which begins your pathway for healthcare science, and it's open to 10th graders.
Hey, I'm Cinda McDaniel, instructor for healthcare science. I teach anatomy and I teach the senior classes, CNA, and allied health and medicine.
Students can begin the healthcare science pathways during their 10th grade year. The first course is Introduction to Healthcare Science. This course covers all the basics of working in the healthcare field with projects to explore the many options students have as careers. Upon passing the intro course, students take Essentials of Healthcare Science, which is an anatomy class. The Essentials class also counts as a science toward your graduation requirements. Students then have the choice of doing dual enrollment with Wiregrass Technical College as a senior to complete the CNA program and take the state certification test. Seniors may also take the Allied Health and Medicine class to prepare them for post-secondary study in all fields of the healthcare science. Both of these courses include clinicals, where students will get practical experience being a healthcare worker in various sites in our community. Students enrolled in healthcare can join Skills USA and compete for awards at the region, state, and national level. Consider signing up in your 10th grade year to complete the pathway for healthcare science.
Brooks County High School partners with Wiregrass Technical College to offer 3 dual enrollment CTE programs that lead to pathway completion and a technical college certificate. Students may begin these programs during the 10th grade year. We offer culinary arts and cosmetology. Seniors who have completed Introduction to Healthcare Science and Essentials of Healthcare may register for the CNA program. Work-based learning is offered to juniors and seniors, which allows students to work and gain credit. In order to register for work-based learning, you need to have a CTAE pathway and a job to work a minimum of 5 hours per week per period. Begin planning your CTAE pathway early if you plan to take work-based learning as a junior or senior.
Hi, I'm Miss Crosby. I'm the art teacher here at Brooks County High School.
I teach art 1, 2, 3, and 4. Those are from the very beginning for students who come in that don't know anything about art. They learn to draw and they learn the basics of painting. They learn how to use ink and ink washes, watercolors, and we even get into some three-dimensional stuff, a few paper mache and clay pieces as well. And we do some art history where we incorporate the history of art from around the world. Different cultures, different time periods, all the way back to prehistoric times up to modern art.
I'm Mr. Weeks from the high school. I teach band and choir up at the high school. Here at the high school, we play and sing a variety of different music from popular artists like the Beatles, the Temptations, anything that you listen to going down the road in your mom's car. We try to play music that's fun, energetic. Our band currently has students of all skill levels, our band and our choir. Students who have never been able to play or sing, students who can play and sing. There's a variety of different experience levels. I would love for you to come and join our band and choirs. I would love if you would all come join our band and keep up our tradition of the little band with the big sound. Come join our choir and bands today.
My name is Miss Lindsay and I teach the dance program here at the high school. It's a 3-year fine arts pathway, but you are more than welcome to join us for a 4th year. We have a competitive dance line, the Trojanettes, and we also have a recreational program. We study modern, hip hop, and all styles of ballet and jazz. And we would love to have you dance with us here at the high school. The last fine arts pathway that I teach at the high school is the theater arts pathway. Hosted in our brand new auditorium, the drama and theater arts pathway teaches students all that you need to know to go on to a life of theater and the dramatic arts. We study improv, acting, and scene study, and we produce 3 main stage shows and also compete in the one-act play competition, have a tour that goes to all the local schools, and do a musical every year. We'd love to have you join us either on stage or backstage. We study all the facets of the theater.
As you can see, Brooks County High School offers many elective pathway options in CTAE and fine arts. It is possible to complete more than one pathway. To make the most of your pathway, you can join band, chorus, dance, one-act play, or a club called a CTSO. We provide the options. Now the choice is yours.
The second part of our talk is going to be about vertical teaming. Now, oftentimes when we think about vertical teaming, we think about like a laddered approach to how you want to set up maybe moving forward from maybe middle school to high school, or if you're fortunate enough, from primary or elementary school all the way up to high school. In my case, I think of vertical teaming as middle school Lindsay talking to high school Lindsay, and how that curriculum is going to follow through one way to the next way. And because, no one has figured out that I talk to myself and plan it in this way, it's a lot of curriculum mapping and meeting with my academic coaches at both the middle and high school and my K-12 curriculum coach to really plan a thoughtful and holistic approach to how we're going to navigate getting from point A to point B with both the drama and dance program for middle and high school. But this year, really starting back in March, when I had a lot of free time on my hands with both the studio and school being in somewhat of a shutdown, I started thinking about vertical teaming in a different way. I started thinking about how I could better use it to brand my programs as a whole. Instead of it just being a purely curriculum-based item, I wanted to think of vertical teaming as how I could sell my brand, how I could go from point A to point B in a 6-12 concept where I wasn't losing kids, I wasn't fighting for kids within those years. I could just focus on recruitment at a 4th and 5th grade level to get those kids in there and keep them the entire time. No longer was I having to focus on just at the high school dance 1, 2, 3, and 4, or drama 1, 2, 3, and 4, but instead, because of this vertical teaming situation where high school Miss Lindsay was dealing with middle school Miss Lindsay, I was really looking at the curriculum as middle and high school drama or dance 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, sometimes all the way through. And while this is asking a lot of the same student to stay with you for that many years, it really gave me a wonderful opportunity to brand my program as almost a lifestyle, as more of a school experience. Stick with me for your 6-12 education, and you're going to leave my program really having a full understanding of dance. You are going to get the best dance education that I can possibly give you because you are getting a full experience. You are going to get modern, tap, jazz, hip hop, pom, everything in between, contemporary, lyrical. We're gonna study world dances, and we're gonna do this on a building level. That first year, we're gonna get a quick overview of everything, and then by your senior year, you're gonna be choreographing your own pieces to do main stage productions. And throughout all of these years, you are gonna see the fruits of your labor pay off exponentially. By mapping out these courses together with my high school counterpart, who just happened to be myself, I'm able to show the students from the get-go just what they're in for, and able to show the parents and the administrators how vertical teaming is essential to my brand, essential to my program's identity, and how valuable having that middle school counterpart is, how invaluable working together is. And so by doing this, I'm also able to reach out to the music department, to the art department, and to the drama department, also an offshoot of myself, and say, this works. And I'm able to say, music department, art department, you guys are so lucky that not only do you have the middle school component at the high school, you have the elementary age component. I really need you to put those components into play and really vertical team, like work that into that through curriculum and get these kids at that young age and keep them wanting to be lifelong learners while they're in our district. Another aspect of vertical teaming that I was able to do, and it worked because, well, one reason is it's me, but I think it would work for just about anybody, is I was able to engage in a curriculum map that worked as a local studio owner. I knew what I was doing at the high school level to students that were not being reached in my private studio, and I knew what I was doing at a middle school level, and then I was able to incorporate that curriculum into my early childhood aged learners at my studio. I knew by the time they were in middle school, I needed those dancers to have mastered certain skills, that I didn't want those children that I knew would be taking my middle school dance programs to be starting off cold. So if I was able to start them off at this level by the time they got into middle school by hitting these benchmarks at my studio with them, then I would be well on my way. So when you're looking at your vertical teaming, don't just look around your immediate surroundings. Think about those local studio owners and add that to your vertical teaming plan. You'll be surprised just how willing we are to partner with you, to add into our 2 cents about what we think would be great curriculum. Most of us have a background in, college dance, and we would love to partner with you. So think about that as you continue on in that in that kind of vein as you build up that ladder from middle school to high school, from elementary through middle to high school, whatever the case may be. Vertical teaming is essential to your process and is essential to building and selling that brand. Again, business owner hat, sell that brand. I don't think it's any real surprise by this point that I'm a huge proponent of competitive dance. I think, much like my athletic counterparts at the middle and high schools, that friendly competition is important to the child's growth, and that not everybody deserves a participation trophy. I love the competitive lifestyle. I love it in studio dance. I love it in academic dance. I love it in all facets of the being of dance. However, I digress. When it comes to selling your program, I think that competitive dance is a wonderful way to do that. Some of the biggest and best notoriety that my program has received has come from the awards and accolades that we have received on the state, local, and national level. There is no better press that you can receive other than the press that we have received from local congressional representatives. We've received congratulations from our state senators, from the governor. We've gotten accolades from just about everybody in our town at one point or another. We've been recognized on the news, in the newspapers, both state and local. We've gotten amazing donations, funding opportunities. We've gotten endorsements through some of our student athletes have been selected to be in marketing campaigns. We've had private competitions paid for just based on how we've done in previous years. There's one competition that we've not paid fees for in several years because we keep winning. So we just get paid bids every year, which has been very nice for our parents. We are fortunate enough to have donors that continue to support our student athletes just because they know that we are going to represent our school and their dollars very well, which are wonderful, wonderful benefits to our program and our fine arts program as a whole. These are things that I know for a fact could not have been done without the benefits that we have received through the competitive dance network. We compete with the Universal Dance Association, which precludes us from competing in other outlets just because of the nature of that system. There are also benefits to competing in other areas. You can compete in Georgia High School Association, GHSA, and there are tremendous benefits there as well. I know neighboring high schools and systems that compete in that system exclusively and have state titles in that. The biggest reason that we do not compete in that is right now you can't get points for your school in that realm. If that becomes something that can happen and is an event like one act play or literary, football, a regular athletic event where you get quality points that can go to your overall school, that would be something that we would then visit. It's something that as a middle school coach, if you decide to have a middle school dance competitive program, that you would need to talk to your high school coach about, because you would be working primarily with a junior high, junior varsity, or middle school team, depending on what system you decide to compete in. there are different systems that you could compete in if competition dance is something that you choose to delve into. When you start thinking about these outlets and avenues and which avenue works best for you, you need to look at the rules associated with any and all of these. There are different safety rules. Always make sure that you are certified to teach and to train your dancers in whatever rules and rules courses are associated with those. Tumbling is always something that is expected and looked at in competitive dance. So make sure that you are up to date on the latest in what is needed in those courses, and what is allowed and what is not allowed specifically. I know this year there's been a lot of talk about aerials, back handsprings, front handsprings, specifically movements where your hands are taken off the ground in palm, hands-free palms versus handheld palms, things of that nature. If you have any questions specific to any sort of competitive outlet, as I do kind of straddle the line at my studio and then with an academic situation, I'd be glad to help answer any questions or point you in the direction of someone who could answer those questions. I would be happy to do so. The competitive dance world is kind of very new, especially in our state. It's just sort of coming out and about when it gets into that academic realm. Academic dance is not as predominant still, especially in middle school arenas, as it is in, say, Florida or our counterparts to the north. And so you're really working in our uncharted territory. As we have talked about, most of us are ones, are singlets in our area. And so you might feel like you're kind of on your own island, so to speak. Studio directors in your area are always a wealth of information and can help, especially in those tumbling areas. If you don't feel like you have the means to do that, or if you don't feel like you have the safety equipment needed to help with that, possibly even the choreography skills needed to kind of traverse some of those maybe new and outwardly different styles of dance, specifically palm, maybe something that some of us had never traversed before in our comings and goings, unless you did collegiate dance line specifically. I know some people might be a little more classically trained, and palm isn't something that we're necessarily accustomed to, and it can be a little more different than the things that maybe you're used to. However, the notoriety and the excitement that competition dance can bring to your program, even at a festival level where you're not being first, second, third place, you're just getting an adjudication. Those type of things can be really healthy for your program, can be really exciting for your program, can be things that your community can really get behind, and can be really rewarding. While I obviously am not a proponent of everyone getting a participation trophy, everybody does like a trophy. And one of the best things about competition dance is everybody loves a blinged out ring. And I can tell you, as somebody who has several and whose dancers have several, everybody really, really, really loves multiple rings and multiple tiaras and crowns, which are somehow a thing now. So keep that in mind. And if you have any questions about the new and exciting competitive dance world, I would love to help you out.